Hello! Good evening! Welcome to this live stream. Welcome to the universe stream. Good evening, good afternoon, good whatever it is where you are. Most likely evening or afternoon, unless you're Australian. Any Australians in the chat? Wait, this isn't the Oscars. Are the Oscars today? I don't know. I don't care about the Oscars at all. That's tonight. Okay. Well, I don't think a lot of people that watch my live stream also watch the Oscars. So, I don't think that's gonna have a big impact. Maybe I will take some people away from the Oscars. That would be cool. It's the Grammys. Now this is the Tonys. That's also a thing for like TV, right? Or theater? I don't know. I just know it's a thing. Mostly because most Europeans need to wake up at like 3 AM to watch it. Oh, it's tonight of course. Not now. Ah yeah, Tony is theater. I know there have been a few people who have won like an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar and a Tony. I know that from a Vsauce video. Let's do some Coaster Mayhem. Yeah, we're gonna do some, I don't know, just a fun stream today. Thank you for the 26 months, Crazy Baboon. Yeah, you're an EGOT winner. Vsauce talked about that like 10 years ago. It's high time I watch someone play Roller Coaster Tycoon. Well, welcome, Blau67. Also, did you guys like the video about the Universe Coaster? It was, hang on, where is it? There it is. Takes a while to load. This is the Universe Coaster. It's my best video ever. You know, few people said so, but I also knew so myself. I think rides are already breaking down. Yeah, the one thing about all these longest coasters is that once a ride breaks down, it doesn't work. I just kind of skim over that, because theoretically infinite luck is possible. But you know, that's been a thing ever since we started synchronizing them, which was since 12 years. You're so humble. I mean, someone can say something is their best work ever. That's, you know, if you think so. I'm comparing it to my other work, not to someone else's work. Those poor visitors were doomed to thousands of years of torture. No. Not thousands. Quinvigintillions. That's all. There's nothing weird about that. How was the media attention? There wasn't a lot this time. It was more subtle. You know, Kotaku wrote an article, but they've done that before. On all the other ones. And didn't get that many views. In fact, this one got the fewest views out of all my longest coasters that I ever posted. Apart from the very first one, which was like a 2-minute video. The fewest views in the first 2 days. It was like 1,000 behind the 135-year one, the Century Coaster, the previous one. But it earned the most money. So that's nice. And it's doing well now. So I've also looked up all the previous views for the past week, for the first week. And it's very likely going to eclipse the 130,000 that the Century Coaster got. Congrats on the money. What you're going to do with this? Well, eventually buy a house. That's the idea. Alright, let's move this entrance, because I hated being in that location. That's not efficient at all. Now, upload day. So Thursday was my most profitable day ever on YouTube, apart from the 100k live stream. So if you exclude donations, it was my most profitable day ever. Which was very nice. What kind of unspeakable fate awaits our unwitting park visitors today? Probably not that much, to be honest. Let's see, this is free, which means we can abuse... which one is it? Price Manager. Very nice. Hey, thank you for the 14 months. Alex Tremo to the max. I do appreciate that. Okay, we're missing a thing. Obviously. Let's build it here. Ah. That's better. Where are the rewards? Whoopsie daisy. My bad. Well, there's the geography question reward which someone used. Let's do that one and that one and that one. Let me guess. First one is going to be someone drowned. Which is now enabled. Why is the stream only 360p? I think that's on your end. Ground guest 42. Of course. Are they in the park? They are. We'll soon have a new 42. Also, there was a geography question from Lots of Money. Give me the coordinates of this park. Minus 69 plus 420 degrees. Okay. Gentle rides. I think we're fine on. I kind of mostly want thrill ride. Yeah, let's just do thrill rides. What kind of shops and stalls? That's fine. Just thrill rides. Oh, and water rides. Why not? Okay, let's do some stalls. Let's make this a bit more stall friendly. There we go. Let's make one more space for stalls. That's gonna be expensive. And then the last one is gonna be opposite that. Now we have a nice place here to make an above ground path. I could technically stream in 1440p, but there's not much reason for that. Because, you know, it's not like that many people will watch in 1440p on live streams. So, why would I? It's only going to take up unnecessary bandwidth on my and your side. 1440p on RCT does seem a bit much. I upload in 1440p on YouTube. Because it's no more effort on my part. I also stream in 30 FPS and upload in 60. Same reason, you know, I can easily do 60 for YouTube videos. But for streaming, I did stream in 60 for the first few streams. But people sometimes had a bit of problems with buffering and stuff. And, you know, it's nice for YouTube videos, but for live streams the quality isn't that important. It just needs to be decent. While for YouTube videos, the extra quality is also not as important as the content itself. But, you know, is nice. And a big difference is, there has been a big difference since I got 1440p screens, is that now I play with standard. I used to standardly play with a scaling factor of 1. But that is much too small on a 1440p screen. That's this. Which, you know, if you zoom in once, it's fine for the game itself, but the buttons are way too tiny. So, and 1 was already small sometimes on the just 1080p. So I just switched to a standard of 2. Which works nicely. Does Netherlands observe daylight saving times? We do, but it's on a different date. I don't know when, but it's... I don't know. I don't care. I wouldn't even notice if just no one told me. You know, I would just wake up at some point. You know, my phone changes time automatically. I would just wake up at some point, but all my clocks reset automatically, so... Or change automatically, because I don't have a manual clock. So I wouldn't even notice. I think we change in 2 weeks. Yeah, that makes sense. I know it's somewhere in March. I just do what my phone tells me to do. Well, for me, it's not just that. It's also the fact that I don't have a set schedule. You know, I don't, you know, wake up, have breakfast, brush my teeth, and I just start working at 9 AM. I rarely start working before 10 AM. Usually, you know, I'll wake up, usually about 8, half past 8, something like that. And, you know, I'll waste a bit of time in bed on my phone. And then I'll get out of bed and then, you know, I'll watch a few YouTube videos, have a nice slow breakfast. Maybe go for a walk. Maybe play a bit of GeoGuessr or something, or Minecraft if I have an active Minecraft world. Which I will have again once 1.20 is released. And then usually about, you know, if a video is in the edit, I'll usually start working at about 10 AM. If it's not, then I'll still start working in the afternoon. But then again, I also often work in the evening. 2 of which are live streams, of course. But, you know, I have recorded videos after midnight before. Or edited videos after midnight. On the one hand, you say my lifestyle sounds fine, and it does. It is fine. On the other hand, I do kind of miss the conformity or the structure when I worked at the distribution center of just going to work, being done at 5, and then not having to think about work again until the next morning. And also, you know, you get out of the house. There are plenty of times where I haven't... Don't forget to link up the exit. Okay, that's one for your bingo cards, because I did forget that. There's plenty of times where I don't go outside unless I specifically make myself to, because I have no reason to that day. You know, because I don't have that many appointments in, you know, other places. And I go to the grocery store about 5 days a week on average. So it's also not every day. Drink some water. That's a good idea. "5 days a week, what are you buying?" So, I'm not American. You are, which is why you don't understand this. Most Dutch people are like, okay, 5 days a week sounds reasonable, sounds normal. I, on average, get maybe like 5 items per trip. You know, I'll decide what I eat that afternoon or that evening on the same afternoon. It helps that if I'm quick and need just a few items, the trip out of my door back in my door can be less than 15 minutes. Because I live close to a grocery store, I always walk. You know, it's faster than cycling, because I don't have to get my bike. So, there's no reason for me to not shop almost daily. It's a little trip out of the house. You know, it's a bit of exercise, it's good. And I don't have to, you know, store 10 jars of mayonnaise in my home just because I only go every 45 months. Name a ride of your choice. What was it? Name the coaster you just built. Walter. Why Walter? I mean, for some reason, it seems to fit. Like, Walter fits more than like Kevin would fit. It sounds like the way old people do here in Germany. In the Netherlands, it's like what most people do. Like, I shop more frequently than most people. I think most people with family shop maybe with kid, you know, young kids shop maybe twice a week on average. But that's still more than once a week. You know, my mom does big shopping once a week and then small shopping for, you know, at the very local basic small grocery store multiple times a week. And then once a week she'll go to the bigger one, which is further away. With further away I mean about 10 minutes on foot. And she'll go buy stuff that you can't get at the small one. It's the Americans probably shop on average like 3 times fewer than Dutch people. I was gonna say Europeans, but that's maybe a bit of an overgeneralization. It of course differs between Americans as well. People who live in the middle of New York City will shop much more frequently than people who live in any town USA. How often do you shop? I mean, there are people who shop daily, which is not even in this poll. And why wouldn't you? You know, Not Just Bikes made a video about this, and his argument was basically, you know, I can literally do it on the way home to work. You know, we're out of, I don't know, ham or cheese. Oh, I'll just get some on my way back to work. It literally takes him 5 to 10 minutes extra. He's with the bike anyway. So, or you could even, you know, you could get it at train stations, at Albert Heijn to goes, if you really need to. Okay, this is a long dead end. Let's fix that. Let's go above ground. Mayo is nasty, but if it comes on something, I'll eat it anyway. Yeah, my mayo is different than your mayo. Assuming you're American. Because American mayo is, I believe, much more sour than European mayo. I think that's not a problem. I mean, we do it so that we get everything we need for the week. If there's something missing, we can just go into the week again for those. But it can be just one trip going once a week going to the store. I mean, yeah, you can. Some people in the Netherlands do that as well. You know, I know my brother and his wife do meal prep on Sunday for the week. But you should also just be able to easily, you know, go to the shop for smaller things. Like, oh, you know, we're out of chips? Alright, no problem. I'll go to the store and I'll be back in 20 minutes. We're talking about transit again or food? Well, you know, grocery shopping and transit are interconnected. So, kind of talking about both. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Guetta and XX King C George X18XX. That's not a quick name to say. This is that scenario where we saw the weird robot glitch. Yes, you're right. Let me see if I can replicate that. That was right here. I think they can go under. I can even build this under there. Fun fact, the boat hire is the only ride in the game, I hope, or if it's not, I've got this wrong, is the only ride in the game with a clearance of only 1 unit. Okay, to make it better, let's build a fence. There we go. What about the other water rides? Well, we got a river raft, but that's a pretty shit ride. if I'm honest. It's really shit, right? Okay, we haven't got a cash machine here. Sorry, what did I say? Ah, perfect. Hey, thank you for the 2 months, Cormac Bates. This one can be underground there. River Ride is a worse car ride. Is it? I thought it had better stats. Well, let's have a little look-see then. What about chairlift in continuous circuit mode? Yeah, that's pretty bad as well. But that's not, you know, inherent to the chairlift. That's just you making bad design choices. Hang on, I think we can make a better design. Does that work? Okay, just about doesn't fit. No problem. Oh crap, hills wasn't on. There we go. And then like that. And then of course some water. Yes. I think this is all properly aligned. No, it isn't. This is a much better River Rapids. Doesn't have a station yet. I'll build a station. Right here. Perfect. Not at the tip. You can't build a station in a turn. That's not yet a feature. Unless you're Dirkling. Dirkling did it, but you know, that's with hacks. I can do that too. Ah, that's appropriate. Very appropriate. There we go. Oh, and round 420. Let's see. Do we have a guest 420 ready? I don't think so. No, we don't. And that one. And that one. And the last one. Do you have staff? Apparently I do. Because this ride has been fixed. I haven't hired any yet. But yeah, I have a mechanic. I don't have handyman though. Fire all my staff. Well, alright. Well, we got a little bit of footpath sweepage. Which is nice. I want to go on something more thrilling than Ralph's Ride 1. You're not impressed? I'm very impressed. While growing up, has anyone ever felt like they heard someone they know in a crowd audio? There are lots of people who hear different things. You know, people hear someone say roller coaster. I think you can hear basically whatever you want to hear. And pareidolia is a real thing. Thank you for the follow, Kevin Kloverk and Juan Gekso. And I've seen your YouTube video about the difficulty curves of RCT 1 and 2. I think I'm agreeing with you that RCT 2 scenarios are a bit harder. I got RCT 2 physical release in my teenage years and I couldn't do the empty airfield scenario. Apparently, most people can't. I don't know if I could. I don't remember playing empty airfield when I was young. It helps that when I was young, I had the the Dutch version. And it's called Vredig Vliegveld, and they're sorted alphabetically. So it was the last scenario in alphabetical order. Well, the last challenging scenario. So I might just never have tried, because I was scared of it or something. I know I definitely wasn't very good at the game back then. I built the exact same river ride, same shape, same place, same scenario. I did remember that you built a river rapids or a river raft, but this was unintentional. But then again, we're both men, so I don't think it's that big of a coincidence. Alright, let's connect it back here. Should have the longest, hardest, wettest ride. I mean, I'm just, you know, fairly subtle. I think. I did honestly build it in that shape by accident. You know, people say, you know, yeah, sure you did. But I have also built accidental penises before, so it happens. Oh, I shouldn't forget to connect this up. There we go. What's the strangest mechanic that you thought was real but turned out to be a myth? There was... Well, it's not really a myth or a thing that I thought was real. It was more a mistake in my observations, I think. I used to think that the maximum price that guests wanted to pay for a ride changed somewhat randomly and they got kind of tired of it, but then it raised again later. Which doesn't happen. They do get tired of it, you know, when a ride gets older, it lowers, but it doesn't rise again after that. But I thought it did. Basically randomly. I had already found out that it changes, but I had somehow got that all wrong. But no, I don't think there were any big myths that I believe. You know, the whole Albert Einstein with ESMC2 and stuff. I never believed that. In fact, I hadn't even heard about those until just a few years ago. Oh, we got a pirate ship. Nice. I don't think I will be able to connect the path if I... No, that'll work. A pirate ship. I'm just not pronouncing the last letter. If you hear something inappropriate, that's your mind being inappropriate, Slime. Do you ever use the renovate feature in OpenRT2 to reset the ride's max price? Yes. I've done it in one challenge. In how much profit I could make in a single month. But I don't regularly use it. Hey, thank you for the gifted sub, Slime. All you have to do to get a gifted sub from Slime is say hi to him. I used to believe that guests could steal from each other. And that building more paths attracted more guests to the park. Exactly what I hoped for. Wait, you're calling this normal, the Toxic Avenger? I don't think a turn like that in a lift hill is very realistic. Can you keep a park running with vandalization everywhere? You won't have a very high park rating, but yeah, sure. You know, guests will still come to the park. And if you advertise, advertising ignores park rating anyway. It's more normal than what you usually make. I mean, sure, this one has turns in it too, but, you know, it's a mini coaster. That's supposed to have turns in it. That's a normal chain lift. This is a normal chain lift. I didn't build it. Still a normal chain lift. Oh, I forgot we already had a junior coaster. Well, we have two now. Where would the engine for the second chain lift be? Up yours. It's all magic. You can rehire staff and probably kill guests for 20. Thank you. Isn't Sunday usually Stardew? It was like a month or two ago. I only need 15. It isn't anymore. Probably gets asked this all the time, but have you ever interacted with Chris Sawyer himself? I don't get that question asked that often. The answer is no. I have not interacted with Mr. Sawyer. Is Wonderful Wacky Warren a custom scenario? No, Wacky Warren is a Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 scenario, and I just put an adjective that started with the same letter in front of it. Because, you know, alliterativeness is nice. Okay, how about a vertical loop? Oh yeah, and I need to drown guest 420. There we go. Let's drown him where I can see him die. In the boat hire station. Would you ever interact with him? Yeah, sure. Also, this is what we meant, by the way. You know, there's a boat hire that has crossed the land bridge. I've made a video about that. This is from the second expansion. It's Loopy Landscapes. It's right there. We need a ride ticket income of 9k, by the way. I didn't even look at the goal, because the goal is not important when I do these parks. Thank you for the bits, Voodoo. Hello, Marcel and chat. I have no topics of conversation to suggest today, but I hope everyone is doing well. That's fine. I mean, it's mostly on me to carry the conversation anyway. You're on the first coming on the merry-go-round. Oh, the coming off the merry-go-round. Where's the merry-go-round? There it is. Did I just see it? No, they're just getting on it. Let's just fast forward through it. Because I don't want to wait. Come on. Huh, it takes a surprisingly long time. There we go. Oh, it was that guy that came off it. You will suffer a fate worse than death. Land drowning. Hey, guest 175 has drowned. Nice. Have we drowned 69 and 420 today as the first two? No, actually not. It was 42 and 420. We broke the streak. I mean, 42 has that also happened before. You know, it's also a meme number. So I still count it as the streak continuing. Does it actually make it through the loops, by the way? I'm not keeping track. Yes, it is. Nice. Can it do 2 splotter washes in a row? Oh, and of course a photo section. Nice. What would not be a meme number? 41? 43? You know, 666 is a meme number, 1337 is a meme number. There aren't that many meme numbers. You know, you got, yeah, 1 is kind of a meme number. Then you could go 42, 69, 420, 1337, or 666 in between. But 42 and 43 are both primes. I assume you mean 41 and 43. Yeah, but that's not the definition of a meme number. You know, you could count 169 as a meme number, but I think that's already stretching it. So, yeah. 8008. I don't think 8008 is really a meme number. Hey, we've beaten the park. 80085. I think that's more frequently used. And that is why I don't give a crap about the goal. The goal is super easy. I like 5 as a meme number, even though it kind of isn't. That feels more like you're talking about even numbers. Because 5 is like an honorary even number. There we go. What is special about 0 or about 91021? Okay, how intense is it? We don't know yet, but I think it's gonna be fine. 314 also a meme because 3.14. No, not really. I mean, that's a stretch. That's really a stretch. You know, in some situations it might be a funny number if you're like in a mathematician's club. But in general, that's a stretch. Yeah, 314 is a meme date. That's true. May 4th. Yeah, May the 4th be with you, but that doesn't mean that 54 is a meme number. Or 504, or whatever. March 10 was Mario Day. I mean, if you're going that way, then pretty much every date is a meme day, because every date has something interesting about it. You know, you'll get to a day like, I don't know, August 29th, and it will be like International Drink Your Chocolate Milk Cold with Marshmallows Day. Or something like that. I think we need some more stalls. There we go. There's an official list of all of those dumb holidays. No, there isn't. And whatever official list there is, isn't official in any way. It's just a list of most commonly celebrated or most commonly acknowledged. I love International Drink Your Chocolate with Marshmallows Day. No, 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 you got it wrong. It's Drink Your Chocolate Milk Cold with Marshmallows Day. Yeah, get it right. That sounds disgusting. I mean, I have a friend who likes cold chocolate milk. And marshmallows probably wouldn't make it much worse. So, he would probably like that. I don't like cold chocolate milk. But then again, I'm not a weirdo. Well, I mean, that's debatable, but you know what I mean. You know, I got quite a few comments on the Universe Coaster video about how did I get the shot. Sorry for change of topic, but how did I get the shot of the guests getting off the ride if the ride takes however many illion years? And that's a lot of people who apparently are not familiar enough with the game to just think, you know, just disable the synchronization, get the shot, and that's it. Not double close, the ride was still open. I simply disabled the synchronization of the rides before. And then it goes around on its own. It's that simple. Also, that's also how I got all the trains to be filled, by the way. I just let it run on its own for a while and then built the connection with all the synchronizing stations. I think I missed Cormac Beats' geography question, by the way. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see, Cormac Beats. Did you ever ask it? I don't see it. So you can still ask it if you want to. Nope, it's not there. Alright. By the way, if you want to know how precise I was... oh, I asked if there was any fishing in the canals in the Netherlands. My bad, then I just missed that. Even when I read over it again. I mean, I live next to a canal. Well, entirely next, close to a canal. I've seen people fish in it. I don't know, you know, you probably are imagining the canals of Amsterdam. I don't live in Amsterdam. I rarely ever go there, so I don't know. But in Groningen, definitely. Maybe not in the ones in the city center. What were the ride's ratings? I don't know, I didn't check. But, you know, if you want to know how precise I was with the timing of the long coaster and the Universe Coaster, I said, you know, it does its whole thing, which takes like 3,200 something years. And then, what was it, like 3,278 years, 5 months and 30.3 days in all in-game time. But it does one more thing. You know, after it's done the 7th time, it goes back through the station, out back, onto the hill, and then back into the station one more time. I timed that as well, which is 17 seconds, and added that. So you get a time that's roughly 2.38 real-life years, and then I added 17 seconds on top of that, just to be accurate. And you know, of course, the massive number that I showed at the end, you know, with the 3 quinvigintillion, 500 something, quad dwarf vigintillion and so on. That number had a 0.39 at the end. Of course, that's not real. I mean, it is real, but what I got as the value for the ride duration of the longest coaster is only accurate to like maybe 10 digits or something. Not the 80 I used in that big number. But that looks a lot more fun than having it just be all zeros. In fact, if it was all zeros, it would have looked like I was making it all up. Which is why I didn't do that. Did you just add random noise? No, no, no. You know, 2 to the power 253 doesn't have any zeros at the end. Because you don't get zeros at the end when you go, you know, you do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So all those random numbers come from that. So I did actually get that in an actual calculation with actual numbers. It's just that it's not accurate. You know, the first 10 digits or so will be accurate. And after that, it won't be. But that's like, you know, a 0.00001% difference or something. Why is it not accurate? Because I only timed it to about, you know, 2 seconds. And it took 2.38 real life years, which is only roughly 100 million seconds. And I only timed it, you know, manually. The exact timing. Which is, you know, I'm accurate to maybe 2/10 of a second. 2/10 of a second on 100 million seconds. So that's an inaccuracy after about 9 digits. 9 or 10 digits roughly. Also, longer, harder, faster, stronger. You know exactly which one. Well, of course. Longer, harder, faster, stronger. Good reference. Glad you didn't miss its finishing after 2 years. It was only like a few hours. Didn't take that long with speed ups and stuff. Drown against death. You don't care who, you just want to see a death. Alright, we'll do that one. Guest 381. Bye bye. Ah, and drink some water. I did have to redo the finishing of the ride like 10 times before I stopped screwing up the measurements. But yeah, you know, I could have explained that all those numbers, you know, digits aren't accurate, but it doesn't really add much to the video, and it would have been a whole lot of, you know, basically nothing. It would have just made the video worse. And I think I struck a really good balance between explaining what's necessary and explaining that concise and effectively. Because there are a lot of, you know, more nuanced things I skipped over. But I do that in almost every video, to be honest. You know, after a lot, there are a whole lot of, you know, in a more tricky video. There's a whole lot, you know, the previous video I made about what are the highest G-forces you can get. There's a whole lot of experimentation and stuff that I didn't cover. In fact, I didn't even show the highest vertical G-forces I was able to get. Because if I did, that would have, you know, the whole explanation about them being inconsistent, I would have needed to go deeper into that, and it was all, that just didn't fit into the video, and it was only a tiny little bit higher, like a half a point out of 70 or something. So the video was still accurate enough, and I did acknowledge the inconsistency, which is why I didn't include it, because it made the story worse. Thank you for the follow. Arrow squid in arrow squidding sticks. That's not an easy name to pronounce. I liked it. Also, the visual is pretty good. Thank you. That was the most like proper video edity thing I've ever done. Because, you know, most of my video editing consists of building stuff in Roller Coaster Tycoon, creating the scenes, then recording them and maybe slapping a zoom or a pan or some text on top. Or maybe doing like another video clip of like some stats or whatever on top. But this time, you know, the Earth atom gun I was quite proud of. You know, things moving. It looked really good. With all the atoms shooting out of it. Okay, let's build a car ride. Because that's what draws the young kids to the park these days. A car ride. Hell yeah. Do you have Amazonia Prime? No, I don't. I don't even use Amazon. I know I use some of their service, you know, they have a lot of... Why is shift not work? Why is shift not working? Hang on, is the other shift work? I'm trying to shift it up. Does that... Oh. Oh, I know. It's because I had clicked on my other screen. There we go. Car ride, yes, the most exciting ride in the world. What's the highest point on the European waterway network? Oh my god, I have no idea. It's probably something in the Alps. I'm gonna say like 500 meters high somewhere in Switzerland. I have no idea. Okay, we're going to do 3 rides on longer, harder, faster, stronger. Also, thank you for the Prime sub, Indigo McLean. Walter has broken down. Me too. Nice. You know, by the way, that shot of the guests getting back on the ride at the end of the Universe Coaster was cheated. Yep, that wasn't real. Well, it was real, but sort of cheated. Why? Well, I'll explain why. I recorded the guests getting off the ride. And then I noticed a few of them, like, walked into the queue line, like this, but didn't get on it. Like that green one. Which was because it wasn't in their intensity range. So I recorded that again, enabled the cheat, guests ignore intensities, and then they did go on it. So it was half cheated. They did like pathfind to there themselves, but I did enable the cheat for it. And I don't think that's a problem. Because, you know, it has nothing to do with the Universe Coaster itself. It doesn't make it more or less true. It's just for entertainment value. Yeah, it made me laugh so much. Me too. It made me laugh out loud. I was like, I saw that and I was like, wait, what? Oh, yes, I can use that. Basically like that. It's just hilarious. The highest point of the European waterway network is on the main Danube Canal, about 406 meters above sea level. Oh, that was pretty accurate then. No, not the position, but I said like 500 meters. So the beginning was cheated as well, because why would they have gone it on the first place? Well, some people will go on it, you know, because they have an intensity preference of less than 4. But that's basically the thing. You know, if I use cheats to make something happen just so that I get the shot, while it could also have technically happened in the game without cheats, I'm fine with it. Because, you know, people actually going on the ride again could happen. It's just that those guests that did walk into the entrance again didn't happen to have the right intensity and nausea preferences. And obviously I knew, you know, including it was genius on my part. Yes, I know I'm humble. Because I knew people would love it. People would laugh at it. It would be a popular part of the video. So that's why I included it. But the reason I'm telling you this is not just to be honest about it or whatever, but also to say that, you know, I am an entertainer. YouTube is my job. If I can make something happen that makes, you know, that's funny, but didn't actually happen in the game, without it detracting from the point of the video, I'll make it happen. I want another coast. No, not a steeplechase. Come on. I'll build the last one I haven't built yet, which is a spinning wild mouse. There are... I can't really think of any right now, but... there are many moments where, you know, I did something that didn't actually happen, or that I cheated to happen. You know, for example, breakdowns are almost always off in my videos, just because I don't want to have rides breaking down in the shot. And also, you know, same comes for like disabling puke, disabling vandalism. You know, you may have noticed that in the video about high G-forces, guests were riding the trains. That... even the ones with like 40 intensity, they were riding it. That's cheats. But if a ride doesn't have stats, sometimes guests will go on it. So the fact that I tested the ride with guests, the one that goes like 400 kilometers per hour, is, I did cheat it, but it could happen if I just waited long enough without cheats. Therefore, it's fine. Yeah, would some guests not go on them if it was not tested? Yes, some guests will go on the ride when they're not tested. So, yeah, I just explained, you know, stream delay or whatever. Most won't, but sometimes some will. And that's why, you know, I'm fine with doing that. If they didn't, then I would not have done that, because guests don't go on them. You know, then I would have only done that in the cheating part at the very end of the video, where we got to like 70 Gs. It's a balance. But honestly, there's a pretty good chance that not a single video of mine that I've ever made about Roller Coaster Tycoon doesn't have a cheat in it. Just because, you know, there are a lot of convenience cheats. For example, the cheat of not, you know, freezing the weather. Because I don't want to have it randomly rain in my shots. And especially the ones, you know, which are time lapses, which are longer shots. You don't want rain. It ruins the shot. Alright, there's a wild mouse. I'm kind of, you know, this color wild mouse for me is very... it's a very specific color scheme for me, because this was the color scheme of the original longest coaster that I built. Well, not the original, the second iteration, but the first one I made a YouTube video about. Back then I didn't recolor the rides yet for those kind of things. I didn't think about that at all. Also, you may have noticed, well, you will very likely not have noticed it. I would be very surprised if someone noticed. Because it's not something you really pay attention to. But the universe coaster in the thumbnail was white. While it was black in, you know, the actual park. Which is because I thought black looked nice. Because, you know, universe black fits a bit better than white. You know, the previous ones were white. But in the thumbnail, the black doesn't really work. So I made it white instead with all red trains. That's the same reason that in the intro, all the trains are yellow. The cinematic intro. Because I thought it looked better. But the track there is black. Also, I don't think anyone will have noticed it. I will be incredibly surprised. I did say this in the video discussion channel as well. But in the cinematic intro, the last connecting wild mouse has a different shape. Which is because it was in the way of the nice shot. Which is fine for when you're explaining it and stuff later, but for the nice cinematic intro, it was a problem. So I slightly altered the design so that it wouldn't be in the way. But when doing that, I forgot the chain lift right after the first station. You know, the top station of the two that are above each other. So if you look at the cinematic intro again, you'll notice some missing chain lift on the orange wild mouse that directly connects with the universe coaster. I wonder if anyone has noticed that, you know, immediately on their first watch. So that one would just never leave. Well, it would leave, it would just never make it to another station. Thank you for the follow, Krozai and Gay Goyle. Nice name. There's also a rendering glitch in the cinematic intro. Somewhere, I think like halfway through roughly. I'm not sure. Which I saw when I rendered the cinematic intro when I had just finished that to see what it looked like. Then I forgot about it. Then I didn't notice on the 3 different times I watched it through before uploading it. And then I realized it just after it went live. But it's fine, it's just a very small rendering glitch somewhere on the right side of the screen. It happens. I could have fixed it if I had noticed it, and I would have. You know, rendering glitches like that happen all the time, and you know, then you just change the timing of a shot slightly, or you know, you zoom it in by 1%, or you change the amount of keyframes while rendering, and you know. You can always fix it with something like that. It's at 34 seconds. Well, that's pretty much exactly halfway through. So I was accurate in that. Also, another very subtle thing that I used while designing the intro is... I slowly zoom out during the intro. It starts incredibly zoomed in when you walk onto the right. And then basically at like every other shot change, it's slightly more zoomed out. Also the ground texture changes. It changes from grass to dirt to rock. Because of the, you know, because of the passing of time. Also, it briefly changes to snow, of course. Which is also cheated, because you know, it's just edited, but there is no actual snow effect in the game, except in OpenRCT2. I just used the blizzard for that. I'm very proud of that intro, by the way. I also think I did a pretty good epic voice. Imagine walking onto a coaster, not knowing what lies ahead. You think it will be a short, fun ride, but oh, how wrong you are. After an hour, you still haven't departed, and you start getting worried, but the operators promise everything is fine. Or you will depart soon. A week later, you still haven't departed. Your phone has run out of battery and all communication with the outside world is lost. Winter comes and goes, but you still don't depart. Many seasons later, you see big flashes in the sky from some war being fought by nations that didn't exist yet when you so innocently joined the queue. Thousands, tens of thousands, millions of years later pass and you're still there, not having moved an inch. Suddenly, you see a big explosion in the sky. You realize that the sun has, or suddenly it gets extremely hot and you realize that the sun has lived its life and is exploding, destroying everything on Earth, except for you. You are still there, wondering if you will ever be free from your suffering. Welcome to the Universe Coaster. That wasn't entirely accurate, but close enough. For the fact that I did that by heart. I practiced that quite a lot, not just because I wanted to, you know, make it sound epic, you know, not to practice my voice necessarily, but also, you know, I wanted just to see if it would flow well in, because it's, you know, a different writing style than my usual writing style. How many times did you have to re-record? So, I re-record my videos sentence by sentence, or well, more like breath by breath. So I record in, you know, sections of between like 5 and 15 seconds. On average, I have to do like 1.5 takes per sentence. If you listen very carefully, you can notice an edit in the sentence. We'll start deconstructing other planets. First Mars, then Jupiter, and then the Sun as well. That, you know, and when I started about the Sun, that is 2 different recordings. There's an edit in there, because the sentence was too long. And I couldn't get it out in one breath. God, we got the mini-sus. You really do have some of the worst coaster types in this park. But I do think, on average, of the epic intro, I record it more often, because I wanted to have them sound, well, epic. We are deconstructing planets like the Sun. No, it was deconstructing other planets like Mars and Mercury, or Mars and Jupiter, comma, and eventually the Sun as well. Do a mini-sus in the form of an Among Us figure. I am doing already a mini-sus, but the form of an Among Us figure... do we have the space for that? I don't think we really do. That's also not part of the channel points reward. I can't really be bothered with that. Ooh, rain. It's gonna make us some good money. There was once someone who built a limb coaster in the shape of Dick Butt. What kind of food stalls do you have in your park? 2 burger stalls. That's it. And 2 drink stalls. Drown a guest eating a burger. How do I do that? Will there be a guest? Oh, hang on, that's easy. I'll just go to Burger Bar 1. Hang on. Are you eating a burger? No. That one. Yeah, he's got a burger. He needs to die. The fat... Almost swore there. The fat ass. There we go. Fat fellow. You know, I used to think, very long ago, you know, when I was like 12, 13, I used to think that was pronounced Fulo. For some reason. I don't know. I was young, I could barely English. I can still barely English. Are you allowed to curse in Danish? Sure, I am. I'm also allowed to curse in Dutch. Godverdomme. I speak one word Danish, which my dad taught me like 15 years ago. Biskofluiden, which apparently means coffee milk. Perkele. Yeah, that's Finnish. It means devil. Is drowning guests your favorite part of the game? No, it's all for show. And that's not a lie. It's literally for show. I don't care about drowning guests. I mean, I find it fun to put on the show. But if I just play for myself, I don't do it. So, you know, I like being sadistic because it's fun, you know, putting on that sadistic character. But I only do that on stream or on video. Name the Benitez Fat Bastard. That's a good name. I messed up, I meant Dutch. Well, I did swear in Dutch for you. Chain speed is something I never noticed before. Well, that's not... I mean, that's a fairly, you know, normal thing. Yeah, you know, it's been in the game since Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 base game. You know, it's only a small range between 6 and 8. I always use the maximum. Except... you know, in the normal circumstances. The exceptions are, for example, when it's like 10.01 with maximum chain lift speed, then it sometimes becomes like 10 point or 9.98 with a lower chain lift speed intensity. Fat bastard. There we go. Ooh, we are almost 100,000 there. The character Fat Bastard from the Austin Powers movies was inspired by me. I thought it was inspired by me. Fat Bastard, you mean this? I am so mature. You know, that's another thing. I've talked about this before. I just, you know, I mentioned, like, I'm not actually one who drowns guests in Roller Coaster Tycoon. I never did it as a kid. But I just do it for the show, and I find it fun to put on that show. But that's, like, I'm putting on a show right now. I am mostly myself. But I'm also putting on a show. Like, in real life, I swear a fair bit. And I might make very inappropriate jokes when I'm with friends. You know, much more inappropriate than I do now. So, I'm not, you know, I'm putting sort of on a character. But the thing is, because I'm mostly myself and I use my own name, it's difficult to distinguish between the two. But you've got that, you know, in parasocial relationships. You know, they think they're the YouTuber or streamer's friend. And, you know, you get that with women. You know, when they mention they have a boyfriend or whatever, people get angry because, you have a boyfriend, I thought I was going to be with you, and, you know, all that kind of shit. Which is obviously not okay, but people do think like that. And there are YouTubers who have, you know, made videos which literally, I'm not your friend. Being like, you know, I appreciate you as a fan, like interacting with you on the stream, but we're not friends. We could theoretically become friends. For example, you know, I talk a fair bit with Max offline, and we're not exactly close friends, but, you know, we're past that initial just viewer-streamer relation. But we're not, you know, most of you and I aren't friends. You're just, you know, watching me stream. And that's, I don't think, really a problem here. You know, most people realize that because, you know, you on average are older than I am. And I am not exactly a teenager anymore. As a kid, I did crash races with junior coasters. If they just leave the station and go on past that ground, they will roll a few tiles before exploding. Yeah, that's true. I think Dirklink did some research into that, like years ago. I do remember also testing that a bit myself. Hey, thank you for the 17 months, Sonofra. Let's have a drink. I can definitely take on Slime in a fight. Ooh, nice. A corkscrew. I like a corkscrew coaster. It's not exactly pretty, but I do like it. You know, it's robust. I'll kick your ass, and yeah, I'll like that. You know, joke's on you, I'm into that. Alright, let's do first a little bit of a hill and then some kind of thing with corkscrews. Thinking like a batwing. There we go. Ooh, new advertisement campaigns. I could probably also use more staffs. There we go. Especially more handyman. Ooh, another geography question. I don't want to fight anyone. Okay, so the last time I have been in a fight, like a proper fight, not like play fighting with one of my mates, but a proper fight, I must have been like 14 or something, you know, and that would have not have been more than maybe 1 or 2 punches. So yeah, I don't really, I'm not really a violent person. I'm not really in violent circles. Now, it happened a few times when I was young. Someone lashing out at me or me lashing out at someone. I had some anger issues. What's the biggest city in Egypt? That's Cairo. It's got like 20 million residents. Second biggest is Alexandria with like 4 million. I think third biggest, I don't know, Luxor? I think Luxor is quite inland. Maybe Giza counts as a separate city? I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in a real fight. I have, but not any proper big one, you know, with heavy punches. All the fights I've been in, you know, maybe, you know, a few of the punches maybe hurt at the time, but were totally fine half an hour later. I've gotten plenty of bruises and stuff, but always from accidents, never from fights. I like that the small train just struggles. Yeah, isn't it cute? With a little noise as well. Oh. I love it. It looks so lewd. Of course you think it's lewd. Why is my audience so immature? I wonder if it's the streamer that attracted the immature audience. Alright. And that's a corkscrew coaster. Quite like it, if I'm honest. Yeah, I should use these colors more often. This is a good color scheme. Yeah, it's kind of foresty. I mean, I get like a cottagecore like. I quite like the aesthetic of cottagecore. There's a Minecraft YouTuber called Gemini Tay, who did a whole cottagecore thing in a Let's Play in a year ago. And she's basically half her aesthetic is being cottagecore, and I quite like it. Does anyone here watch Gemini Tay? She's really cool. Took me a while to get into her videos. Her way of talking took me a while to get used to. But now she's my favorite hermit from Hermitcraft, along with Pearlescent Moon. What is cottagecore? Cottagecore is an idealized farmhouse living style, you know, like a small wooden house, you know, in between the farms or kind of in the woods, with a lot of flowers everywhere. And you know, it's a very rural, self-sustaining lifestyle. You have your little gardens where you grow your potatoes and your vegetables, and you know, you have a few chickens and some cats, all that kind of stuff. You know, there isn't a highway within 10 miles of your house. Yeah, fairy vibes as well. Yeah, really over the top flower. You know, just search for cottagecore on the internet. You'll find it. Drown another guest. Alright. We'll drown that one. 1408. That's quite close. For a second, I thought that was exactly your number. But that's 1609. Sounds like Stardew. It's similar to Stardew, but Stardew is not entirely cottagecore. Like, cottagecore is a little bit more extreme still. And it's a really nice aesthetic. You know, it's just cozy. It's nice. It's good for escapism. Something being blank core means that aesthetic. Yeah, like metalcore, metal aesthetic. But not actually being metal. Well, that's a controversial thing to say. Metalcore is metal, but you know, there's a whole joke about it not being metal and whatever. Then again, there's a whole lot of elitism in the metal circles. You know, what is metal, what isn't metal. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. You know, Nightwish is my favorite band. Not everything that Nightwish does is metal. For example, Procession, from the latest album Human Nature. There's literally zero metal in that, but I still like it because it's Nightwish. But you know, people like to put labels on things, and so do I. But we should try to do it a little less. Nightwish, another one on the bingo card. Well, the problem, Carrie, is you said bingo now, so, did you guys watch the latest Tom Scott video? I've forgotten what it was about, but I just wanted to mention Tom Scott. And I know I've watched it, because I watch all of his videos immediately when they come out. Which is tomorrow again, because he always uploads on Monday. Oh yeah, the cable cars. Wellington, which has like 100 cable cars. What else is on there? Oh yeah, just before I went live, I watched Jordan Stoltz skate a junior world record on the 1500 meters. The season is basically finished, but there was one more America Cup, which is held in Salt Lake City, the fastest ice rink on Earth. And he just came back from the Netherlands. On Wednesday he still skated a race in Leeuwarden, the Zilveren Bal. And he was like, you know, I don't have the world record 1500 meters yet. Kind of want it. Junior world record. And this is literally my last chance, because next year he's no longer a junior. Next season. So he just got it. Almost a second faster. It was 1:43.13 by Alandal Johansson. Skated in 2017. Or 2017. And now it's 1:42.26 by Jordan Stoltz. He must be really proud of himself. Oh, definitely. And the only reason, you know, like, he hasn't said it publicly, but the only reason he skated that America Cup is because of the junior world record, because that was the only distance he skated, the 1500. On the 1000 and the 500 he already has it. And it's a really inconvenient time because he just got back from the Netherlands. And like, it's not like the America Cup is a thing he skates, because, you know, that's more of a local thing, not for people on international level. Oh, Stoltz, proud. I get it. Stoltz is German for proud. But he is proud of himself. You know, I do know that Stoltz is German for proud, I just didn't think of it. Have you ever heard of Andrew the Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 Let's Player? No, I have not. Also, you say this doesn't count, Carrie. I kind of wanted to mention Jordan Stoltz anyway, because the interesting thing about Jordan Stoltz Junior World Record for me personally is that the only reason I was able to watch it live is because America already switched to daylight savings, and we haven't. Because it happened at around 7:25 or so. If it happened an hour later, I would have already been streaming, and I would have to watch it back after the stream. Mick and Men's RCT station on YouTube. I know that channel. Is that just on Andrew Plays It? Is that the same series? Because then I do know about it. I don't watch a lot of his videos, but I do watch him every now and then. It's a good informative channel. Then again, I don't think... Well, there's one bad Roller Coaster Tycoon channel I've seen. It was called something like RCT Tutorial, something super generic. And what they did, they would be like, how to beat empty airfields, and, you know, with a proper thumbnail on how to beat empty airfields. But then the video itself was like 2 minutes long, did nothing but build Ferris wheels, and didn't even come close to beating empty airfields. And it was all kind of joke videos like that. And I don't like that. So I don't like that channel. But I think they've stopped uploading for a very long time already. And it was also because, like, How to Basic, for example, is a similar thing, but with more general videos. But How to Basic, you know, it's fun, it's interesting, it's random. But that, like, tutorial with the weird tutorials, that wasn't even funny. That was just random stuff that they did. Have you seen Timberwolf's RCT stuff? Name rings a bell, but I don't... But that's all. Stu is still going. Yeah, I haven't talked to Stu in quite a while, but... And I don't really watch his videos, but I wonder, like, what's still in it for him? Because all of his videos are very similar, you know, here we have a scenario and we'll play them. Which is not a bad thing, you know, if he does those videos well, and he does, and, you know, you find those videos really relaxing, that's, you know, that's fine. That's a perfectly good series. But last I checked, he doesn't get a lot of views anymore, and they're all custom scenarios, because he's ran out of actual, you know, proper scenarios that come with the game. But, you know, if he finds it fun to make them, and, you know, they still get a few views, so then why not? It's just that, you know, for the proper scenarios, you know, RCT Classic, you know, Wacky Warren, people might search for that. But how to beat this obscure scenario from this obscure scenario pack, people will very, very unlikely search for that. So it gets a lot less search traffic. Doorknob has started a new mega park. Yeah, I saw. What's this park called? This is Wacky Warren. Yeah. I like water. Timberwolf did RCT science videos. Let's have a little look. Timberwolf. I mostly see Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, not an instant Chris Sawyer classic. You know, let's get it going here. Oh, by the way, YouTube now only has 3 across instead of 4 across with the videos when you go to the channel. I don't like that. I liked the 4. It's not just RCT, it's a lot of different stuff. Here's one, Isometric Dreams. It performed well. Damn, 67k on an open TTD video. Quantum's Edge. Oh, here we are with all the Roller Coaster Tycoon videos. They didn't do very well. Some of these got like almost 1,000 views, but lots of these with under 100 views. But then again, you know, it's a 30-minute video on Ghost Town, and they're all, you know, part 7. So they're probably not edited down very much, if at all. So it makes sense. Let's see what his most popular videos. Okay, the Open TTD one, then Roller Coaster Tycoon. You know, if we go to Stu, I think that's the wrong Stu. Hang on, that's Age of Empires. Is that Age of Empires? Age of Empires 1. Huh. But it's Disco Stu. The Simpsons. Roller Coaster Tycoon. There we go. Yeah, you know, he still gets a few hundred views. And he likes making it. And, you know, these rides are incredibly Stu-like. All these thumbnails. You know, there's flying coasters. And those are his color schemes. Yeah, I really appreciate all the videos he's made. Some of them did fairly well. You know, 44k on the Tycoon Park. He capitalized well on the vibe that, you know, on the hype for Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. So, yeah, props to him. It's just that it's kind of over for him now, because like these are all slightly obscure scenario packs. So he's done his thing. I found his 2 vlogs really interesting. Yeah, he did make a few vlogs. Let's see if we can find any. I watch on it too as well. Alta's Adventure. Yeah, solo camping in the woods. Didn't do well, didn't do bad either. It just did roughly the same as the other videos. But I imagine it's a lot of work to put like a 29-minute edited vlog together for solo camping in the woods, and for that it might not be worth it. But yeah, Stu was a YouTuber before I was, so he didn't necessarily pioneer, you know, Roller Coaster Tycoon YouTubing. Some people did it before him, but he did help make it grow. And he did have a very positive effect on the community. And he is one of the people that encouraged me to start doing videos the most. Ultimately, I didn't start because people encouraged me. I started because I accidentally got a viral video and didn't want to waste a golden opportunity. But the encouragement from other people definitely helped in making that decision to go for it. So yeah, for those that don't know, you know, it's quite a while ago now, but I got a few 100,000 videos on a short little video I made to support a post on Reddit about a calculator I made in Roller Coaster Tycoon. I got a few hundred subs from that, and I was like, well, I got a few hundred subs now. People have been saying I should make videos about my Roller Coaster Tycoon stuff. So it would be stupid to not try to make something out of this. You know, that's a golden opportunity wasted. And I didn't want to speak on my videos. I was too nervous for that still. And I knew I was absolutely shit at making videos. Now I was. Well, I definitely was. But I had a backlog of enough interesting projects that I could, you know, work off of that. And then, well, it worked. You know, I built a brand eventually and a successful YouTube channel. And a job. And that's, you know, part of his luck, getting the initial boost. That was mostly luck. Also knowing the right people, because it happened because Dirklink had a contact at Kotaku.com and sent it to their to his contact. But after that, it was mostly just hard work, you know, making the right videos. I think I pretty early on had a good hunch of, you know, what people find interesting. Not always. I had some videos I was like, yeah, they'll do amazing, and absolutely failed. That still happens. It also happens the other way around. What was your job before this? I was a student. I did have a part-time job, but I quit that when I started studying full-time again because, you know, I want to focus on the studies. My job was working at a distribution center. I was an order picker. Basically, it meant I rode around on a little cart with those containers you see used in supermarkets on the back. And I rode in the distribution center, I rode around and picked up products, put them on the containers. And they would be shipped off to supermarkets. Yeah, it's a very basic, easy job. That either people without an education take or students. And that was basically, you know, there were basically three demographics. There were either old people, usually, without much of an education, that have been working there for a while. Or students, like me. Or Polish people. I would say foreigners, but mostly Polish people. Thank you for the follow. Terror Toasty, Ewan K, and Sir Marisa. I was 11 when I first played it. I'm 10 years older than you. Yeah, roughly. Depends on what you mean with it. If it was Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 in 98, then pretty much. If it was Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 in 2002, then not quite 10 years. Then it's more like 5 years. Nasty one. I mean, it sounds like you were born in like 87 or something. I was born in late 96. I started playing it probably in 2001 or early 2002. I'm not exactly sure. What I find interesting is that no one has, at least as far as I know, has ever thought that I was younger than I actually am. I have gotten a lot of comments over the years that, oh, you're only 24, or 25, or 26. Wow, I thought you were like 40. But I've never gotten a single comment that said like, oh, I thought you were like 20. So apparently, something in me sounds old. I don't exactly know what it is. Hang on. Slime gifted you a tier 1 subscription to Max. Is Max live and has Slime just gifted me... Hang on. Hang on. Let's go to twitch.tv/Max. I'm gonna watch Max.
Of the trades, that's very much above the others, but for me it was like 4 of them had the exact same number. And she would kind of force me to try and get something. I mean, I really hated it. And in the end, I didn't even have to finish the thing anymore. Really,
We're just watching Max on my stream. Slyle says hello, Marcel. I'm gonna mute it now, but this is next level hosting. Yeah, you know, it's talking through each other isn't really. Yeah, let's close this again. You're not here to watch Max. I'm hearing an echo. Alright, let's test this. What if, hang on, what if I watched Max and he watched me? Would that would create an infinite loop, wouldn't it? Like recursion. Not an infinite loop, recursion. So we got smaller and smaller and smaller on the screen. You know, kind of like when you use a screen recorder to record the screen recorder. It would be beautiful. If you can get Max to watch me, then I'll watch him. And we can do that. I'll keep his chat open so that I can see people saying in the chat. Yeah, I can see what he's doing. Just in case. In the meantime, let's color this twister coaster. How about some pink? I like pink. What does the twister coaster do better than another kind would be in this space? This space, well, it's got a lot of variety. Got high stats, high throughput, you know, 4 wide trains, 4 cross trains, which are very useful. For high throughput. It's got the booster. But in this particular space, there's nothing about this particular space. I just wanted to build a twister coaster because we didn't have one yet. So, that's all about that. Honestly, you know, if you're looking this from a perspective of just making money, building a good park, it's all fine. Like, the twister coaster isn't... It's better, but it's also expensive. But, you know, it doesn't really matter what kind of coaster type you use. Even steeplechase can do a little bit worse, but still fine. They're all coasters, so... They're all good. The old Zeeland is Zeeland. Province of the Netherlands. Bottom left. Made up of Zeeuws-Vlaanderen and 2 kind of like island bits. And it's perhaps our most neglected province. Well, that might be Groningen as well. There's also a Sealand with an S. Called, I think, like Sjælland or Sjælland or something in Danish. Which is the top part of Denmark, I believe. You know, the top part of mainland Denmark. So Kiwis are originally Dutch. No, it's just that I think Abel Tasman, or Abel Tasman in Dutch, discovered it, you know, for the Europeans, and named it New Zealand because... Or was it James Cook? Well, one of those captains, one of those European captains, named it New Zealand. Let's build a laydown. And let's build it right here. You know, a little tip for... Oh, Max is watching your stream now. Okay, I'm going to watch his stream. Let's see if we can get recursion going on. Yes, there we go. There we go. We got the recursion. Let's listen to his stream. We got the recursion.
Can I make it bigger? Streamception. Oh crap, now I can hear myself on
Yeah,
the stream
it got
and on
echoes.
that stream, and oh man, we're going all the way down.
Nice. Hello, Max.
Better. I have one more idea.
Nice. Hello, Max.
Hello.
We can't
This
talk
is one
like
weird way of
we
talking
can have
to
a
each other, but
conversation
whatever.
like this. We can't talk like we can have a conversation like this. Oh, now you're raiding me.
I'm gonna rate you now.
Oh, now you're raiding me. Nice. So you're kind of. Oh, there we go. Now it goes on black. So you're kind of. Oh, there we go. Now it goes on black. Oh, now you're now like the. Oh, there we go. Now it goes on black. Oh, now you're now like the. Oh, there we go. Now it goes on black. Is this speech jamming? Now like the. Oh, there we go. Is this speech jamming? Now like the. Oh, is this speech jamming? Now like the. Oh, is this speech jamming? Now like the. Oh, speech jamming. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. Okay, let's stop that nonsense. That was amazing. Thank you, Max, for playing along. That was fantastic. That was wonderful. My everything hurts now. I can imagine. We now return to your regularly scheduled program. Where were we? Probably drowning guests. Yeah, something like that. Oh well, not that guy. How about that guy? Bye-bye. That was really amazing. I mean, I knew it would do the thing where, you know, there's recursion, but I didn't think about us just being able to talk with each other until I heard myself back on your stream. And I was like, hang on, we can just say hello. And then I just watched myself on your stream and it got like that all really echoey and speech jammy. It was even more confusing for people having both streams up. I mean, that must be absolutely a nightmare to keep things straight. You want to do a collapse? There are easier ways than this. There definitely are. But this was funny. It all began because Slime gifted me a sub to your channel while you were streaming. And I was like, that's interesting. Hey, what happens if I start watching his stream? In the endless echo of me laughing. That was absolutely hilarious. There is, of course, the slight issue that, you know, you watched my stream, so you can expect, you know, a copyright lawsuit. But other than that, thank you for playing along. Oh, it doesn't make it. Whoops. Ah, there we go. Imagine that, though, if I now, you know, was being difficult about that. Does Twitch have rules against that, though? Does it? Like, are there Twitch rules against, like, watching other streamers on your stream? I don't know. Probably. I think there is without consent, yeah. And you know, technically I didn't have Max's consent when watching him the first time, but in a lot of those cases consent isn't necessary because there's kind of implicit consent. You know, just like, for example, Fidwell, I believe, used a clip of one of my videos recently. Some roller coaster game, I'm not sure if it was Fidwell. And, you know, he just described what I did and stuff like that. That's fine, you know. Stuff like that. You can argue it's transformative anyway, but, you know, stuff like that you don't need to ask consent. You know. We're all friendly with each other, we're all in the roller coaster tycoon space. You know, roller coaster tycoon community. Yeah, fair use is a thing. But, you know, legally, officially, you'd need to transform it for them. You know, if you just showed a clip of one of my videos and then said, Marcel makes good videos, I enjoy them, I think that's technically not fair use. You know, it makes no sense for me to go after you for that, unless you say, Marcel makes good videos, I enjoy them, and you just then play my video in its entirety. Yeah, then I have a problem with it. But obviously, that's not what people do. You know, when people say that, it's just, you know... I think Fitwell did it when he made a video that was very related to a video I made, and, you know... That's why he said it, you know. Mentioned my video about it, something like that. I don't remember exactly. What Pokemon are you? Snorlax, obviously. At least Dreamception was transformative. Was it? I think it's like, you know, fair use and criticism. And, you know, it's all like... Or criticism and review, it's called. I didn't really do any of that of Max's stream. I reviewed kind of like Stu's channel. But that wasn't Max's stream. We can have more than one Snorlax. Besides, I'm the streamer. I can be whatever I want, baby. Also, we have a lot of guests in this park. Damn. Let's both be Snorlax. Alright, you are the female Snorlax, I'm the male Snorlax. You can't be Snorlax if you stream, not lazy enough. Snorlaxes aren't always lazy, they're just lazy when it's not necessary to be active. You're the bottom Snorlax, I'm the top. I don't think they really have the physical flexibility to do that. Then again, you know, if we're talking about Pokemon making babies, which is a thing of course we should talk about, how do two Voltorb make babies? They're literally just round balls of electricity. Well, not of electricity, but, you know, round electrified balls. I should have known we'd end up. They go against each other. I mean, maybe there's something like fish. You know, where the female just lays her eggs and then the male does his stuff over it. When the mommy and the daddy Voltorb love each other very much. Female Skitty plus male Wailord. Yeah, that's called like Hasoa. Hot Skitty on Wailord action. They're in the same egg group so they can breed. You know, it's similar with Hagrid's dad being a very tiny man and Hagrid's mom being a giant. Except that can still technically work physically. The other way around will be more difficult. Why are we talking about this again? Yeah, Donkey and the Dragon as well. That's also a good question. Because Max raided you. Yeah, it's all Max's fault. I'll just blame Max as I usually do. Often works. Hashtag blame Max. Hashtag blame Max for everything. A ride crashes, it's Max's fault. I want to get off Twister 1. Why though? Twister 1's amazing. To be fair, the profs in the Pokemon universe say they all have no clue where the eggs come from. That's true. You know, the Pokemon universe all works very differently from our universe. You know, with all the elemental attacks and the Roar of Time and, you know, what kind of attacks have you. Who knows how eggs are made? Maybe just, yeah, a female Voltorb and a male Voltorb sit next to each other and then an egg just materializes next to them. Who knows? The only time you see an egg appears when Arceus literally creates in front of you, from which Palkia, Dialga and Giratina hatch. I haven't seen that. But yeah, you know, Arceus is the literal god. Okay, rock style. I wonder, what's the most profitable ride in the park? Let's also save it. Let's see. Total profit. Inverted Hauppin Coaster 1. Makes sense, good throughput, good money. There's only one of them in the park, so, you know, price stays high. Wooden Roller Coaster 1. Yeah, that's also, you know, a somewhat older ride. Classic Mini Coaster 1. Yeah, that's also an old ride. Ask a geography question. Also, I think I missed a drink some water from 10 minutes ago. Nice. And then we got Side Friction Coaster. That's a surprise, although it's a fairly old coaster. And Walter. But, how about Total Customers? Yeah, Wooden Coaster 1, but we just can't charge as much for it. Only... Wait, that's more. How does it have more total customers than the Hairpin and also, but less total profit? Is it because the Hairpin was at a higher price? Oh, it was probably at a higher price earlier already. It's just dropped like now. Which is the country that's the highest elevation difference? It's gotta be China, right? Mount Everest? And then some kind of like low point, which is, I believe, like minus 230 meters below sea level? Something like that. Everest is 8848 meters. Above, obviously, not below. Name a ride of your choice. What was it? Name a coaster Pokemon Egg. I'll name this one Pokemon Egg because it's somewhat egg colored. Pokemon Egg. Okay, so minus 154 to 88, 48. Okay, I was quite close. I don't know what it's called or where it is in China, but I knew it was China. It helps that they got Everest in their borders, of course. If they didn't, it might have been Nepal, although it might have been some like other 8K'er. The lowest height difference, that's probably the Maldives. Because the lowest point is sea level and the highest point is 4 meters. Let's see. Customers. per hour. The wooden roller coaster at the top, followed by the twister. Profit per hour, I'm kind of interested in as well. Twister coaster one, I thought that would be. Running cost can be sometimes interesting. Looping coaster, oh, it's because it's got all the chain lift. Queue length 86 for fat bastard. Nice. Yeah, it's at Maldives. Queue time, probably also fat. Oh no, of course, the space rings. Duh. Followed by fat bastard. Highest excitement, probably the twister. Oh, the woody. Followed by the Hapin, and then the twister. It's all very close though. Intensity, the woody. Nausea, probably the Hapin. Oh, the enterprises. Then the space ring. Then the laydown. Then the stand-up. God, the Hapin isn't even in the... It's barely in the top 10. It's literally number 10. It's lower than I thought. Only 484. Drown the oldest guest. Literally guest 1. Jean Calment. There we go. Die. Hey man, big fan of your content. Love the Universe Coaster video. Thank you, Food Boot. According to my website, it's only the 5th lowest. Lowest is 0 to 3 meter. Ashmore and Cartier Islands. That's not a proper that's country. That's probably some territory within a country. Let's see, I'll go to that website. There's 2 guest 2s. Yeah, because in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 scenarios, if you start with guests, it always starts back at 1 when you do open it in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. So the ones that are double are the ones that were already in the park, and then starts at 1 again, so you can get them double. Let's see. Okay, it does have 2 value lower than Maldives. Well, at the same value actually, both 5. Tuvalu is a proper nation. Tokelau, Spartik Islands, and Ashmore and Cartier Islands are just territories inside countries. Is 42 still in the park? Yes. Even though we drowned them. You think the game would realize that and not spawn in a double number. Double numbers are fine, like... There's not a problem with that. And it just doesn't check for it. Because, you know, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 can't actually open Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 scenarios. It's just open RCT2 that can do that. So, Chris Sawyer never bothered to check for it, because it wasn't possible. And OpenRCT2 never bothered to check for it, because it's not an issue. Surprised the answer wasn't one of the European micronations. I guess they're all in areas with hills. Not just that, it's also that 4 meters is basically nothing. Like, even in Drenthe, which is a very flat province of the Netherlands, like, there's easily, like, between 2 places being, like, a few kilometers apart, there's easily a height difference of, like, 5 or 10 meters. So there just isn't... It's just barely anything. And Monaco is just, you know, on the foot of a hill. And the Vatican, you know, it's like... It's like a few hundred meters across. But in a few hundred meters, you can easily have 5 or 10 meters of height difference. That's not even steep. It's not even close to steep. Andorra is literally in the mountains, but Andorra also isn't very small. Like, sure, on the grand scale of countries it's small, but Vatican is a few hundred meters across. Andorra is still like 10 kilometers across. There are very few stretches on Earth which are 10 kilometers across and don't have a 10-meter height difference. Maybe some like salt flats. But like all the land formations of the Maldives are also small and not 10 kilometers across. Just lots of different islands and atolls. But then again, salt flats would never be a country on their own. Because you can't really build a proper city inside salt flats. Aww. Longer, harder, faster, stronger is broken down. I don't know why I'm building a lot of spiral slides, but I like having like different flat rides throughout my park. And it makes it look a lot more finished than having just coasters. Huh, I didn't realize, but we've filled up pretty much the entire park. You know, I think I was starting to say this at some point, but I got distracted. You know, when I was building the laydown coaster, this path obviously wasn't there yet. But I was building it on this hill, and I had already visualized this path going here. That's kind of how I built. You know, when I build a ride, I immediately visualize how the path is going to get there. And that's part of the reason I think that my parks are generally very navigable without me putting much effort into that. It's because a standard thing I do is just visualize how they're going to be navigable. Do you have a monorail cycles yet? I don't. I can build a tiny one if you want. Let's see where. We can build one there. We're gonna have the most epic queue line. It's slightly more exciting than a straight, just, you know, an ellipse. Well, technically it wouldn't be an ellipse, but, you know, an oval with close enough. There we go. Even the province of Flevoland has a higher hill than the Maldives or Tuvalu. I believe the highest hill on Earth is 7 meters tall. You know, for all the Dutch people that think their province is flat, I encourage you to go to, like, Flevoland, to the middle of the farmlands there. Now that is flat. You know, the Netherlands might have, you know, have a 10 or 20 meter height difference every now and then. But Flevoland? No. There's nothing there. It's super flat. You don't know what flat is until you've been to Flevoland. Well, in the Netherlands. Of course, you know, in other places you have things like the aforementioned salt flats, which are even flatter. North Holland is just as flat though, just a bit higher up in general. Okay, that might be true. I don't think, well, I've been there, but long ago. We went on holiday a few times to a place called Sint Maartens Vlotbrug, which is in North Holland. Might be a municipality of Hollandse Kroon, I'm not sure. Vlotbrug. Sint Maartens Vlotbrug. Did we use any cheats today? No, we did not. Well, I gave myself the cash machine to get rich, but other than that, no. Still have 10k as a loan. I wasted 12 bucks every month on interest. No! Cool, we have 500,000 park value. That's basically a Gravity Gardens then. And we are nearing 4,000 guests in Wacky Warren. It's not pronounced Wacky, but Wacky. Wacky Warren. Wacky Warren. Sounds funny. Okay, can we build a nice path through here? I think we can, you know. Yes, we can. Awesome. Milwaukee Warren. Funny that you mentioned Milwaukee, because I think about Milwaukee a lot. Like, pretty much every other week. Or every week in the winter. Now it's up to you to figure out why. Let's have another merry-go-round. Speed skating, yes, there's one of the 2 indoor 400 meters ice skating rinks in the US is there. And Jordan Stoltz skates there often. And with his times, I often think about it. Do you think of Milwaukee because of Charles? I didn't know Charles is from Milwaukee. Interesting. Charles used to be an RCT YouTuber as well, but, you know, he was never that serious about it, and then he quit, and, you know, he's got a proper job now. He always had, I mean, it's not like he was making money from it, but I believe at the time he was still a student and all that. Alright, I think that's going to be it for today. The park is pretty much done. So, I want to thank you for watching. And I want to thank Max specifically for messing about with me on Twitch. That was fun. And I want to thank you all for watching that. I don't know if you liked that, but I think most of you did. And let's see who I can raid. I could of course raid Brian. Yeah, why not? I like raiding Brian. Brian's a fun fella. He's a real life theme park engineer. And he's building a theme park, you know, properly designing it. If you want to see a theme park engineer in action, then watch this stream that we're going to raid now. So have fun. Thank you for watching. Have a good night, good afternoon, good anything. And I'll see you next time. Later.